we got exactly what we expected out of Arkansas State. They're a really, really good offensive team. Really stressed us out early in the game. They got great look after great look. First quarter, I think they were shot like 60%. We turned them over a few times, but if we weren't turning them over, they were making shots. Felt like we settled in a little bit. It's hard this week going into finals. Coming out of finals is a lot easier than going into finals. So I think it was a huge challenge to put this game on this date. But again, we did that strategically to challenge ourselves with it. And I think at the end of the game, you look up, you're ahead. That's a win. Overall, to finish 12-0 through our pre-finals schedule, I'm going to give them an A, not an A+, but I'll give them an A. But we still got a lot of work to do.
Talked a lot before about how you like to play these in-state games. Mm-hmm. This was the first time Arkansas State, a men's or a women's team, has played in this building. Just what do you think about that chance to give some in-state kids the opportunity?
I hope it inspires a lot of kids, and I hope it helps. I think it does. I've not got any evidence to prove to you that it does, but I think just going around the state at different events, the people that say thank you for playing these games, I think it means something. We're going to try to keep doing it. I think it gives us, that extra little something. That was a good crowd, 3,800 on a Sunday, a late start. So I hope it helps Arkansas State. You'd have to ask Coach Rogers, but I know it helps us to play all these guys in these environments. And I hope it inspires our grassroots programs during the summer and every high school, to go out and do hard things. It's not easy to play them. It's hard. There was a reason that for a number of years they didn't play. So I'm glad that this group of coaches that are here at those schools continue to play them.
You're most disappointed, it seemed like, in free throws and the turnovers. What did you think of those today?
Improved. Yeah, they were both improved. I don't know about the turnovers as much because I felt like there were some of the same mistakes, just, not trying to throw them through people's hands and bodies and not being aggressive. I can handle some aggressive ones, but the free throws obviously – jump off the page. Sam changed her free throw routine a little bit. She stayed out there and worked on it the other night after the game. So I don't think we played our best game of the year, but I think it had a lot to do with how good Arkansas State played. So I was pleased with the reduction in turnovers and the increased percentage. We've got to do a better job, though, of sometimes we take that three when we're open, and it might not be the best shot for us. I've got some clips to show over the next 4 or 5 days that we're not making the right basketball plays at times. We've had people open in the corner, and we choose not to throw it to them. I've got to figure out why. I've got my suspicions. I hope my suspicions are wrong and that it is something that we can change technically. But I thought we had gotten past that the last 5 or 6 games, but it reared its head in the fourth quarter again tonight. There were 4 that glared at me. And for the first time all year, I will talk to our team after the game. I don't normally address our team after the game ever. But with everything we've got going with finals and everything, I'm going to get them together and make sure we've got a plan to fix those problems that we had in the fourth quarter.
You have an update on Michaela and maybe going into Creighton?
We were hopeful that it would all take by the time that we got to the Creighton game. All indications are pointing that way, but she'll start running tomorrow. She'll get a workout in on Tuesday. We have a skill development day on Tuesday. Because the way our finals work, we'll be off Monday and Wednesday. We'll have a skill development day Tuesday, then get back to prep for Creighton on Thursday. I think she'll be back to practice. We hope. All indications are pointing that way. I think we learned a lot in her absence. I think she learned a lot sitting over there. And I think when we get everybody back together, obviously her presence will be felt.
You talked about it a little bit, but you scored almost exclusively in the paint and from the free throw line in the second quarter. Was that a point of emphasis during that quarter break, or was that just a result of State's defense?
It was. That's what they were giving us, so we had to take advantage of it. I thought Aaron was phenomenal. Marion was unbelievable. Both of those two kids. I do feel like we probably could have thrown it in there every single possession, and maybe good things would have happened. That's not going to help us beat South Carolina. It's not going to help us beat LSU. It's not going to help us beat Tennessee. It's not going to help us beat Creighton. So rather than just say, hey, everybody get out of the way and let Erin go do her thing, or throw it to Marion before we shoot it, we got to learn to work through that and find them when it's time right to find them, and then get some kids confidence to make the right plays at the right time. So it was an emphasis to get a lead, because Erin was there, that he had a stretch where she just dominated. They had to change their lineup as a result, but it was talked about. But I don't want it to have to ever be us pointing out, hey, they can't guard this kid or whatever. I want them to figure that out. So I'm glad that we did. I thought we had good balance today. I looked down, I just now realized we had 5 kids in double figures, but again, credit Arkansas State's game plan.
Fourth quarter, Arkansas State cut the lead to just 6. They called that timeout. What was going through your mind when they called that timeout?
Check my math to make sure it was 6, because I have a tendency sometimes to lose track of the game in the fourth quarter. It was hang on mode. I thought all the momentum shifted to them. I thought Higginbottom got them going in transition there a couple times, and we lost her. I think overall we did a good job on her. Forcing her to take 17 shots to get 19 points is good, but she created some other catch and shoots for some of her other teammates. But yeah, when they cut it to 6, they had our kids' attention all day long. But obviously when they cut it back to 6, there was still plenty of time. We had a little bit of foul trouble. So we slowed it down a little bit. Fortunately, they went zone for us, which made this slow down a little bit. I thought melted some of the clock away, but I wouldn't have thought you could zone us very effectively, but they did. I would have stayed in it too. And we'll probably see more of it as a result.
Clearly struggled from the field scoring wise. But she still had +9. Could you talk about her impact outside of scoring?
Yeah, she, the 9 rebounds, the 5 assists, the times that she switched on to guard somebody that was driving and changed the shots. She can't let her offense dictate. She doesn't. She keeps playing. She keeps doing other things, but her shots, she's not going to go 0 for 11 very many times. I thought she took a couple of hard shots early, and that's what we'll show her. Look, these last 4 or 5 games, your first 3 or 4 shots have been real easy. They've been wide open. Your teammates have created. Today they were a little tougher. So it's a teaching moment. She's still freshman. She's still playing. But man, she's so versatile. It's hard to take her out, even though she's, not making a field goal for us.
Growing up in Northeast Arkansas, I realized how important these type games are to the Arkansas State fans. Was there trouble getting across to the kids about how important it is on that side of the state?
No. I told them the last time they beat us when they made a movie out of it. I've seen it. It was replayed on PBS a bunch, and I've seen the movie. I know the history of it. We made sure they know the history of it. And listen, the scouting film's easy. Our kids are smart. They could tell how good they were. This is, again, you've got 3 kids that have been playing at Power 5 schools, so they did not need any inspiration. They had it, but I did remind them that, last time we lost the game in the series, they produced a movie about it.
About how Sam kind of changed her approach to the free throw line. Was that something that the coaches said maybe to try, or is that just something she did?
I think she just did it. She stayed around afterwards the other night after the Lamar game, and she shot for about an hour, just nothing but free throws. And I think she was just getting the repetition down, catch and shoot. And she told me she was going to it. It's like a swing change in golf. Sometimes it's nothing technical. The point of release was the same. It's a confidence thing. And then, all I ever said to her was, you're going to keep getting fouled because we're going to keep putting it in your hands to draw fouls. She drew 19 fouls this week, 11 the other night, and 8 tonight. So just get comfortable, step up there and knock them down. I don't know if Coach Todd mentioned that. I know they were working on something the other day. Y'all have to ask Sam, but I told her whatever works.
Talked about that timeout that they called after Drew within 6. You didn't let them score another field goal from them. 7-minute drought. Just how much of a luxury is it to let your defense take over this year?
It makes me sleep better most nights, but now I'm up nights wondering why we don't do it the whole game. I am baffled at what it takes for we may just be that team that is going to play however we have to play that night. I don't know. I don't want to be that team. I hate being that team. I want us to have a standard that we play to all the time. I do believe that because we have a limited rotation, sometimes the kids think they can make some mistakes without having to come out. I took a couple of kids out tonight after some mistakes were made. We may have to do some more of that because right now playing time is important to all these kids. So we've got to teach better. And whether if we can't do it in practice, we'll have to use it through games. There's sometimes you have to lose to learn, and we haven't lost yet. So I don't have a very active voice right now because we just keep winning, and they keep getting, we're all of the things that come along with that. So we've got to do, it's really going to be on us as coaches and our team leaders to make sure they're watching these games with a more critical eye rather than just looking at the box score or looking at the rankings that come out or looking at whatever, because it will matter at some point in time that we don't make the right basketball play or we don't make the right pass at the right time. And I don't want to have to lose to learn that. We're going to lose a game. Don't get me wrong. We're not going undefeated. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'd love for us to, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I also don't want us to have to suffer a loss to learn that. I would rather us learn from it in practice and in film room and then lose the game for another reason, but not because of that. It's a really long answer. I hope you can find something quotable out of that.
As a question, what has been the biggest key to staying focused during the winning streak?
I think managing expectations, just not letting, I think somebody called it rat poison. Nick Saban that called it rat poison. He's right. There may not be a better word for it. It's part of having the success, but I think teaching is the hardest part. Continue to teach. It's harder to get your point across when, they're going, well, we're 12-0 and I'm, so that's been the hardest part of it. But fortunately for us, we do have a bunch of kids that are very aware. And I hope that they're able to look back at this stretch at some point in time before we get on that plane to go to Creighton, to know that we can be only as good as we are as a team. Like individually, we've got great players, but we're not going to be good enough to win in the SEC. We're going to have to do it as a team.